Alright, thank you very much for clicking on the video. This is Gulpain, just back with a quick PSP review, and this is a RPG, well, it's an action RPG for the old PSP, and it's called Mimana Iyar Chronicles. So I saw this randomly on eBay and I just picked it up just to see what it was like, and I wasn't really overly impressed with it. It's by Kogado Studio and it was published by Aksys Games. So I recognise that publisher. Actually, they published a few games that I have purchased recently, and it was released in 2009, so it's a fairly late release. It actually, the one thing I will say about it is the voice acting is very good in it, and the sound in general is quite nice in this. It does look a bit like a Flash game, though. That's the only thing. I don't know. It's kind of the aesthetic of it is quite nice. It doesn't use that kind of PSP RPG trope of where all the characters are sort of like, you know, realistic sizes, and you know, like it's very there's like Dragon Age Aria or Valkyria Profile or Tales of the World. Some of those games are all very similar. They use a sort of similar graphic style, but this one uses the sort of like where the characters look like children kind of style. Obviously in the cutscenes they all look, you know, realistic proportions, but in the actual game, when you're walking around the towns and stuff, or the dungeon areas, the characters look like quite small or quite just kind of stumpy. But then when you go into the combat, then the characters are back to like normal looking sizes. It's kind of like in Final Fantasy VII, the original Final Fantasy VII, where like the really early cutscenes, the characters look like they're in-game characters, but then like the later cutscenes, they're kind of normal size, so it's kind of strange. So this one, there's a little story. Your main character guy is not a very nice guy, but he kind of grows on you after a while, and yeah, his voice actor is very good. The English voice actor, have to say, the voice acting is surprisingly top notch for a, you know, a random kind of PSP RPG. Actually, the voice acting in the PSP RPGs is quite good in general. It's not as bad as some of the kind of console games that were released. But this one has you going around like a magical kingdom. You have to escort this little girl someplace first, and then basically the kind of world opens up after that. Then you can go around to different places. The one problem I found with this was that when I was playing it on the PSP, to go from like when you're in a dungeon area, the first area you go to is like a beach. So to go from the overworld to like the separate sort of like fighting area, like which kind of a lot of turn-based games, you don't have the battle in the overworld, you have it in like a separate area. This one has a similar sort of vein, but you can actually move the character around and you can press buttons to attack and stuff. So it's not really a turn-based one. It's more like an action RPG. But when you go to the area where you fight the enemies, it takes forever on the PSP. I don't know what's going on with my PSP, but like all the other games I have work perfectly. But it takes like at least 12 or 15 seconds to go from the overworld to the battle area. But that didn't actually happen when I played this version on the PSP emulator for the PC. The battles are really fast, so I don't know if I have to install the game onto the PSP, onto the memory card, you know, for the loading times to quicken up whatever, or what's going on. I have no idea, but that'd be the one drawback of the game so far, is just it just takes forever to have the battles, and it's really hard as well. There's a bit of a learning curve and it's quite steep, so you really need to grind, similar to the other PSP games. At the very start of the game you need to grind, beat easy enemies, and then go back to the town and buy better weapons, and then beat more easy enemies, and then the enemies get very, very difficult. So that's Mimana Iyar Chronicles. So let me know if you played this game in the comment section below, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Adios.